So, what if I told you that the entire universe, like every single star, planet, galaxy, and black hole, is fundamentally made of water?
Yeah, and even crazier. What if an ancient philosophical blueprint suggests that you, the person listening right now, are the final missing puzzle piece the cosmos actually needs to avoid total failure?
Right, it completely flips the script on how we usually view our significance, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
we are so used to that classic existential perspective where, the cosmos is massive and ancient.
And we are just these tiny accidental specks on a pale blue dot.
Exactly. Just along for the ride in a cold, indifferent void.
But today, we are doing a deep dive into a worldview that argues the exact opposite of that. We are exploring the cosmology and Eastern philosophy of Daesun Jinriho.
Which is just a massive topic.
It really is. We are going to decode the deepest mechanics of the universe, the true nature of time, and humanity's ultimate role in the cosmos.
And just to be crystal clear before we start unpacking all this,
Mhm.
our mission here is purely to understand this fascinating framework exactly as it's constructed in the source text.
Yeah, that is a great point. We are exploring these theological and philosophical concepts purely as impartial guides. We aren't endorsing or taking sides. We just want to see how this incredible cosmic architecture fits together.
Right, just looking at the ideas. And fitting it together requires us to start at the absolute highest level of reality. Because,
Mm.
if we are going to understand our place in the universe, we first have to understand the blueprint that built it.
Makes sense. Where does it start?
Well, this worldview starts with the foundational concept of Dao, which most people usually translate as the way.
The way. Okay, so that usually refers to the natural order of things, right? Like the underlying current of the universe.
Yeah, in this context, it is the ultimate essence of cosmic creation. It's the absolute body of how the universe is generated and how it develops over time. But this philosophy breaks down into very specific mechanical stages.
Mm.
So the first stage, the absolute bedrock, is called Mugyak.
Mugek. Okay, let's unpack this. What does that actually look like?
Well, if you look at the translation, Mugyak represents the limitless, formless principle of the universe.
Limitless and
Yeah,
formless.
imagine the ultimate state of potential. It is the theoretical law of everything before it takes any specific shape.
Oh, I see. Like an unformatted hard drive. The capacity to hold infinite amounts of data is there, and the physical architecture exists, but nothing has actually been written to it yet.
That captures the essence perfectly. It is
Yeah.
pure principle. But a universe can't just remain as pure, unmoving potential,
Yeah,
right?
right. Nothing would happen.
Exactly. It has act. And that brings us to the second stage, which is Taeguk. If Mujek is the unformatted hard drive, Taeguk is the operating system booting up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's the active manifestation of that limitless principle. The engine turning on, generating the actual forces that will build reality.
So we have the raw potential and we have the active engine. But, in a lot of scientific frameworks, that's kind of where the story stops.
Yeah, yes.
You have the laws of physics, they turn on, and boom, the universe just runs on its own as a blind mechanism.
Which is where this specific philosophy introduces a massive paradigm shift. It brings in an overarching concept that sits above both of those stages, a term that gives this entire system its name, Daesun.
Okay, a day soon.
Yeah, Daesun is presented as a much higher, more comprehensive reality than just the raw potential of Mujek or the active engine of Techek.
Wait, why does it need to be higher? I mean, if you have the laws and the engine, isn't that enough to make a universe?
Well, think about what happens if you just leave an engine running in a chaotic environment with no one steering.
Oh, right. It would just crash.
Exactly. A universe that just runs on cold mechanics is essentially a random, chaotic machine. Things crash into each other, stars explode blindly. So the term Daesun changes the entire equation because it introduces a presiding, governing intelligence.
A governing intelligence.
Yeah, it includes a specific deity referred to as Guxian Sengje, or the Lord of the Nine Heavens.
I see. So if Mujik represents the cold, hard laws of physics like gravity, thermodynamics, electromagnetism, and Tajik is the physical universe actively obeying those laws, then Daesun is the master physicist actively standing in the laboratory.
What's fascinating here is how this shifts the perspective from a random, chaotic universe to one with intentional, guided intelligence. That master physicist is guiding those raw laws with actual intent.
And I imagine that intent requires continuous active participation,
Oh,
right?
definitely. And the etymology of the word Daesun itself is really illuminating here.
Mm.
If we look back at ancient Korean history, during the Silla dynasty, there was a famous ruler named King Jinhong. When he would travel across his lands to inspect his territory, manage his people, and ensure the laws were functioning, that royal tour was called a sunsu.
The Sun Tzu. So basically a human king touring his earthly domain.
Right. But when a supreme cosmic intelligence tours and oversees the entire infinite cosmos, like all of the heavens, the earth, the physical realm, and the spiritual realm, that boundless inspection is called a Daesun.
A cosmic tour. That paints such a vivid picture. The universe isn't a clock that was wound up by a creator and just left on a shelf to tick away into entropy.
Not at all.
The master physicist is actively pacing the laboratory, observing the reactions, and managing all the cosmic forces.
Which leads to the natural next question, right? How does this active intelligence physically manifest its will in our everyday reality?
Yeah, how does it?
It operates through a binary code that uses the mechanics of yin and yang.
The classic push and pull, light and dark, hot and cold, expansion and contraction.
Exactly. Taeguk, that active engine we discussed, expresses itself entirely through these yin-yang pairings, and there are literally an infinite number of them. Yeah, every single interaction in the universe, from the subatomic level to massive galaxies, is a dance of yin and yang. You could spend 1,000,000 lifetimes trying to catalog all of them and never finish.
Well, we don't have 1,000,000 lifetimes on this deep dive, so we definitely need a shortcut. And from what I understand from the text, this philosophy highlights 3 ultimate massive yin-yang pairings that basically govern the entire architecture of existence.
Yes, the big 3. The foundational pillars. Number 1 is heaven and earth. Number 2 is the sun and the moon. And number 3 is humans and gods.
Let's hold on that second pair for a moment, because this is where the mechanics get really fascinating. When we hear sun and moon, we immediately picture giant celestial rocks floating in space, right? Like a ball of burning gas and a cratered satellite.
Right. But in this framework, they are far more than just celestial bodies. The sun and the moon represent the physical manifestation of time.
Time. Because the sun rules the day, the moon rules the night, and their continuous cycle creates the passage of time.
Exactly. And time is the absolute engine of evolution in this worldview. Space without time is totally static.
Like a freeze frame.
Yeah. Think about heaven and earth without the sun and moon. You would have a massive blank canvas, but nothing would ever happen. The text literally calls it an empty shell.
Wow, an empty shell.
Nothing moves, nothing grows, nothing decays or evolves. The interaction of the sun and the moon is what forces the raw materials of heaven and earth to mature.
But here is the part that genuinely stopped me in my tracks when I was reading the source. This philosophy argues that time itself, this grand cosmic engine of evolution, is essentially a meaningless shadow without humans to perceive it.
It is. Time passing in a void with no conscious being to measure it, learn from it, or grow through it is functionally useless.
Wait, I have to push back on that playfully for a second. Wait, so the universe needs US just as much as we need IT. You're putting humans and gods on the same foundational level as space and time.
I know, it sounds wild.
It feels incredibly arrogant on humanity's part. We've only been around for a fraction of the universe's history. How does this system justify placing us on that level?
Well, it comes down to the concept of meaning-making. Imagine a universe where stars are born, planets orbit, and galaxies collide, but there is absolutely no life, no consciousness anywhere to witness it.
It's just dead space.
Right, it is just rocks bumping into rocks in the dark. It is a blind, deaf, and dumb mechanism. Human consciousness acts as the anchor that gives the cosmic progression of time its actual meaning.
So we are the observers.
We are the ones who observe the sun rising and setting, who age, who extract lessons from the passage of time, and who develop morality and civilization because of it.
Okay, I see. We aren't just watching the clock. Our consciousness is what makes the clock tick with purpose. Without the observer, the experiment is pointless.
Which brings us to a really profound visual detail in this framework. When detailing these 3 great pairs, humanity is described as an unfinished project.
I remember seeing that, a concept still written in red ink, meaning the work is ongoing.
Yes. So the universe is literally waiting on us to finish evolving.
That is incredible.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this is the core tenet of the entire Daesun Jinriho system. It is called Umyang Hapdeok, which translates to yin-yang harmony. It suggests that humanity is quite literally the final puzzle piece of the universe. To complete the cosmos, humans must achieve a state of ultimate mastery over the other pillars.
But how does a human being actually do that? Does it mean we need to all become astrophysicists and figure out quantum mechanics?
No, it is much deeper than just intellectual knowledge. The philosophy uses two specific terms for this mastery. Sangdong Chonmun, which is mastering the laws of heaven, and Hadel Jiri, which is mastering the laws of the earth.
Okay, but what does that look like in practice?
The mechanism for this mastery is moral as much as it is physical. It means aligning human behavior and human morality perfectly with the physical laws of nature.
Oh, I think I get it. So if the physical law of gravity is what binds planets together in harmony, then human empathy and benevolence must become the spiritual gravity that binds society together.
Exactly. When human beings perfectly mirror cosmic laws in their daily lives, the circuit finally closes.
We synchronize with the blueprint.
Right. When humanity fully understands the deep mechanics of time, space, and morality, achieving perfect harmony with the divine, the red ink is finalized. The cosmic puzzle is complete.
That completely redefines the human experience. We aren't just some accidental byproduct of evolution. We are the required conclusion to the cosmic story.
We are.
But if human completion is the finish line, who fired the starting pistol? What was there before Daesung started this whole engine? Before heaven and earth split? Before the clock of the sun and moon started ticking?
To find that, we have to rewind the cosmic clock to the absolute beginning. Before the yin and yang binary even existed, there was a state called Tile, or Tile.
Tao, the ultimate, singular, undivided primordial energy.
Yes, the foundational original energy referred to as one Gi. And it is often described using the concept of chaos, borrowing the Greek word chaos.
But we have to clarify what chaos means here, because in modern English, when we hear chaos, we immediately think of like a messy room, confusion, random violence, or disorder.
Right, but in this ancient philosophical context, chaos means the exact opposite of a mess. It doesn't mean a jigsaw puzzle scattered all over the floor. It refers to a pure, unified, completely unseparated state.
Oh, so it is the blank canvas before the puzzle pieces are even cut.
Exactly. The pure potential where everything is merged into one single, undivided reality.
Here's where it gets really interesting. What is this primordial state fundamentally described as in the text? Water. Infinite cosmic water.
It is a striking universal image. And this philosophy points out that this isn't an isolated idea at all. It draws direct, fascinating parallels to other major global traditions to show how universal this understanding really is.
Like the book of Genesis.
Exactly. Genesis describes the Spirit of God hovering over the face of the waters before the world is spoken into creation.
Right.
It also references the traditional Eastern framework of the five elements: water, fire, metal, wood, and earth, where water is always considered the absolute foundation, the starting point of the entire cycle.
You know, it almost sounds biological. Think about how a human being actually comes into the world. A baby grows safely inside a mother's womb, completely suspended in amniotic fluid.
That is a great comparison.
In this cosmology, the state of Tile is essentially the cosmic amniotic fluid of the entire universe.
That is the perfect way to visualize it. It is the womb of creation. Every single thing that exists, every galaxy, every star, every planet, and every cell in your body was birthed out of that original cosmic water. It is the life-giving matrix of reality.
Okay, so if that original water is the source code of everything, how does a person living today actually interact with it? I know this philosophy places a huge emphasis on a specific practice called the Telju mantra.
Yes, the Telju mantra is a foundational daily practice in this tradition, but we have to understand the mechanics of how it actually works.
How so?
Well, when someone recites this mantra, they are not casting a spell. They are not asking a deity for promotion at work or a new car or good luck.
Right, it's not rubbing a cosmic genie lamp.
Far from it. The mechanism of the mantra is vibrational resonance. It is a tool designed to help human consciousness sync up directly with that limitless pre-creation primordial energy, that cosmic amniotic fluid we just talked about.
Oh, like tuning a radio to a very specific frequency.
Exactly. By chanting, the practitioner is intentionally resonating their personal energy with the very origin of the universe, aligning their mind and body back to that original undivided state of chaos.
That makes a lot of sense.
It is a profound way to tap into the raw Wan Gi, the original life force, to achieve spiritual clarity and physical healing.
So we have this incredible origin story, right? The universe birthed from cosmic water. And we have this ultimate critical goal, humanity serving as the final puzzle piece, aligning our morality with the laws of physics to complete the grand design.
Right.
But what happens when we actually pull it off?
What happens when the human project is done?
Right, when the puzzle is solved and the red ink dries, Does the universe just die? Game over.
That brings us to the final major paradigm shift in this framework, the ultimate destiny of the cosmos. The philosophy introduces a principle called Seongjugogong.
Sanjugogong, walk us through those mechanics.
It translates roughly into 4 distinct stages of existence: creation, abiding, destruction, and emptiness.
Okay.
And it requires us to scale up our understanding of life and death to an infinite level.
Right.
We're used to the concept of reincarnation on a human scale, right? A single soul being born, living out its years, dying, and being reborn.
Right.
Seongjugogong applies that exact same concept to the cosmos itself.
Right.
The universe itself reincarnates.
Hold on. So is this just a depressing doomsday prophecy where everything goes to zero? If the third stage is destruction and the fourth is emptiness, does the universe do all this meticulous work, guide billions of years of evolution, wait for humans to finally achieve yin-yang harmony, just self-destruct?
This raises an important question, and it is incredibly important to understand that this is absolutely not a pessimistic, end-of-the-world scenario. It is not dark nihilism.
Because nihilism implies it was all for nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in this framework, it was for everything. It is an eternal, deeply beautiful cycle of renewal. Think of it like a giant cosmic wheel constantly turning.
So it doesn't just end.
No. Once the universe completes its purpose, once humanity achieves that perfect harmony and the cosmic puzzle is finished, the universe doesn't just die a cold death, it returns to its source.
It goes back.
Yes. The term for this is Guihapteo, which means returning to tail.
Returning to the cosmic amniotic fluid, returning to the original water.
Everything eventually dissolves back into that state of unified nothingness, the pure potential, the original chaos.
Wow.
The universe rests, it resets its energy, and then eventually a new cycle of creation begins. Tao initiates Wugak. Wugak sparks Taeguk, and Daesun guides the new reality. It basically scales the Buddhist concept of a reincarnating soul up to the size of infinity.
It's like the universe is simply breathing. A single breath that takes billions of years. Creation and expansion is the inhale, bringing the universe into massive complexity. And dissolution and emptiness is the peaceful exhale, returning everything back to the water.
And in every single breath, in every cycle, the active intelligence of Daesun is there, guiding the laws of Mugyak, driving the forces of Taeguk, and waiting for humanity to realize its crucial role in the whole magnificent process.
That is a staggering amount of architecture to wrap your head around, but it is undeniably beautiful. So let's bring all these pieces together for a final quick recap of the journey we just took.
Sounds good.
We started at the absolute highest level of reality with the active cosmic blueprint of Daesun. We learned that this universe isn't a random blind machine, but a meticulously guided project run by a master intelligence.
And from there, we explored how that intelligence operates in our reality through the binary of yin and yang. We looked at the 3 great pillars, specifically focusing on how the sun and the moon create the engine of time.
Right, and we discovered the vital role of human perception. Time and the universe itself is just a meaningless shadow unless human consciousness is here to anchor it, experience it, and grow from it. We have to master the laws of heaven and earth to close the circuit.
We then rewound the clock to before time even existed, plunging into the primordial waters of Tile.
The cosmic amniotic fluid.
Exactly, a state of pure, undivided potential. And we saw how practices like the Talju mantra allow us to tune our frequency back to that exact origin.
And finally, we looked at the ultimate destiny of all things through the 4 stages of Sanjugogong, the eternal reincarnation of the universe itself, endlessly expanding into brilliant complexity, and then peacefully breathing out, returning to the primordial waters.
It is a framework that assigns an immense amount of meaning to every single moment of existence.
Which brings this entire deep dive directly back to you, the listener. Because according to these ancient sources, you need to radically rethink how you view your own life.
You really do.
You are not a tiny, insignificant speck floating through a cold, indifferent void. You, your choices, your morality, and your consciousness are the crucial final puzzle pieces required to bring the universe to its ultimate completion. The cosmos literally needs you to make sense of itself.
It is a heavy responsibility, but it's also the ultimate elevation of human existence. You are the universe experiencing itself, working to achieve harmony.
And as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final lingering thought, something to sort of ground these massive cosmic concepts into your everyday reality.
Oh, this is a good one.
If this philosophy holds true, if the entire universe was genuinely born from a state of primordial cosmic water, and if every galaxy, star, and human being will eventually dissolve back into that exact same unified state.
It completely changes how you look at the physical world around you.
Specifically, the water here on Earth. Think about the water you interact with every single day. What if the water coming out of your kitchen tap isn't just a simple, mundane chemical compound of hydrogen and oxygen?
Right, what if it's more?
What if every single glass of water you pour is actually a dormant physical reminder of the universe's exact origin and its ultimate destiny? Just think about that. That infinite cosmic potential, the literal amniotic fluid of reality flowing right through your own body. Let that sink in the next time you take a sip.